Ooh. It's your friend again. And Coconut. Oh. He seems relaxed. Wise Will. I can't believe it. What? That's what we called him. God, it's been a million years. He did work at the university. When I was an undergrad, he hung around with the music department, but he was sort of a general technician. He'd fix the PA, run the soundboard during student theater productions, stuff like that. Student theater productions? Is there something you want to tell me, Mimi? Oh, no, I was just in the audience. They did some interesting stuff back then, in the Paleolithic. In the Paleolithic? Supposed to be more sarcastic. So he would shake the rain stick and crank the dry ice machine, huh? Why'd you call him Wise Will? He was chatty. He'd tell you all about the school's architecture, local history, county politics, gossip, folk remedies. Like they were all part of the same thing. I always wondered what happened to him. Huh. Well, now you know. He's part of our data. Yeah, just another data point floating down the echo. Who's she talking to? The test subjects are supposed to be talking to each other, so we can compare their recall fidelity before and after the phone conversation. That's what I mean. He's not even on the phone. She didn't fill out the questionnaire either. Well, what did he write? He just drew a picture of the cat. Okay, maybe she misdialed? She'd been on the line for a minute, though. Is there tape? Of our conversation, I mean. Yeah. Let's check it out. Ah. Yeah, that's my number, alright. You dialed correctly. But I'm not part of any research study. Hey, I'll tell you what, the phones have been bananas around here lately. I think the phone company's understaffed, or someone's asleep at the switchboard. It's pretty early, after all. I get up earlier than most. I've got to do my deltoid regimen and then cool down a bit before my morning swim. You know how it is. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you hang up and try dialing again? Hit the buttons real hard if you can. Maybe you'll wake them up and they'll connect you right. But he said the number was correct. That means that no one's fucking up. I guess that's inconvenient information, so they kind of blazed past it. Yep, hello, you got me again. I'll tell you what, suits me just fine. My delts are cooling and the coffee's brewing. I'm just sitting here looking out the window anyway. Into the dark, I mean. The sun ain't even up. Sounds lovely. Well, not so lovely at this moment, is it? I'll tell you what, it's nice to hear another voice before the sun's up. And one that isn't making excuses or demands. You may have guessed by now, I'm a, Say, why don't you guess? Not guess, deduce. Take a closer listen to my voice, and let's see what you think you know about me. I mean, what do I look like? What do I like to do, and so on. I'll try you. Let's give you something to work with. What should I say? A phrase you can listen to and analyze. Say, I owe some people some apologies. I owe some people some apologies. Got it? Okay, what do you think? What kind of body makes a voice like that? You're fast and thin. You sound like your heart rate is up. Like an eel, that's the truth. Can you hear what my teeth are like? You should be able to hear that. Every word I say has got to go right by them. You have a warm smile. Warm like the noon sun. What about a job? What do you think? What do you guess my job is? You're a stage magician. Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I'll tell you what, I'll do a little deduction of my own and speculate that you love art, or anyway, you tolerate it, at the very least. I'd say you're a romantic. I'm certain you're some kind of professional driver. If you aren't, then I don't know a thing. How'd I do? You got a couple parts right. Well, it ain't a science. We're just trying to get in the neighborhood. I'm an orthopedic physical therapist by trade, specializing in post-surgical rehabilitation. And I do all my intake interviews over the phone because I believe you can get a pretty damn accurate picture of someone's general health just by interfacing with them verbally. Now, many of my colleagues disagree. They think that the body is the body and the mind is the mind. Well, I'll tell you what, having worked in this field for nearly 3 decades and seen all manner of evidence, I am no longer sure I believe in the mind at all. Let me give you an example. I had a patient who lost his right hand to misadventure and infection. He worked in a factory operating a delicate machine that requires years of specialized training, so we focused on coordination and getting his left hand to the speed and accuracy required for the work. I'll tell you what, after a couple weeks of he was riding, throwing darts, you name it, all left-handed, a triumph of physical therapy, back to work. Next day he was unemployed. Seems he sat in front of that delicate machine and reached out with his left hand and just froze, had no idea what to do with the thing. Next time he was in my office, he said, "Doc, when I lost that hand, all my memory of working with that machine went right along with it." He said, "I'll tell you what, Doc, if I ever learn to trade again, I'll learn it with my gut. I won't ever again put things so precious as a memory in a place so vulnerable as a hand." Well, my coffee's done brewing. I'll let you go. The mind is terrifying and weird. There's a lot of strange elements. To some extent, the idea that you can just put your brain in a jar and keep it alive somehow, then put it in like a new body, and then it's like, haha, immortality, I get a new body. At least as long as your brain lasts. Is kind of maybe not useful, because your nervous system goes through your entire body, and elements of how your brain works are kind of inextricably tied to how your body is. And so, like, if you lose your body, you don't really keep yourself, even if your brain is somehow working elsewhere. But the brain also terrifies me in a few different ways. There's this split brain phenomenon that's kind of terrifying, where I forgot the exact thing they were trying to treat by doing this, but there's people that had these really rough conditions, and they tried to treat it by splitting their brain, like the lobes, from each other. And it leads to a fucking bizarre situation where your body will sometimes perform actions without you telling it to do that. Like, you'll have like one hand that you're controlling and one hand that does things all on its own, and you don't know why. But because you're one person and you kind of need an internal narrative that justifies your own existence and what you're doing from moment to moment, the patients would like rationalize what the other hand was doing and why it was doing it, and sort of internalize that narrative as an explanation for their own behavior, which is its own other bag of worms. The idea that you could be doing stuff that you don't even choose to do, but then you rationalize it as your own actions and you own them even though you're not the one making the choice. But there's also the other aspect of, like, if you're not consciously moving that part of your body, then why is it doing that? Like, the terrifying sci-fi concept that comes to mind would be the idea that our minds always have multiple consciousnesses in them, and what if our body has a consciousness in it that isn't the one that I am, and it's always there, and it's maybe like constantly being suppressed by me and my existence, and like what if I'm like responsible for like managing this body that has like a prisoner in it? What if it's screaming out right now because I'm talking about its very problem that it wants to be away from helplessly, and it can't actually communicate that idea? So yeah, brains are fucky. Enjoy that thought, I guess. Oh, look. Can you read the date? Damn, I can't read it either. It may not have even been current. I remember for a while we had a calendar up that was like years behind. I think Daryl liked the picture. What was it? Best friends. Every month there was a different pair of animals that were friends. I remember having a calendar at some point. I think there was a specific... I think I also did a thing where like the calendar wasn't very useful to me, so once I landed on a month that I really liked, I pretty much just left it there. Like a poster. That's adorable. I think I'm gonna be sick. You don't remember that? That weird intern brought it in from home. What was his name? Who? Oh, you remember. He was always like... I mean, we would make fun of him for... Damn, he's almost completely gone from my brain. So many interns coming and going then. I guess it didn't bother even remembering their names. I wonder who was working with that. I wonder who was working back when this was recorded. Is there a tape of the monitoring room? Yeah, here it is. Oh, before we check it out, did she flip the calendar forward or backwards? Backward. Oh, weird. They usually flip it forward. Judging me over here? Which... Wow, I haven't used a calendar in so long that I actually can't remember. Do you flip upward or downward in order to go forward in a calendar? The cat left. I guess... Let's see, on a calendar, the biggest page is the one on the bottom. You hang it from the top, and there's this big... There's usually a chunkier page that hangs down. So I guess you flip a calendar upward to go forward to the next month. Yeah, sorry, I'm just working out the mechanics, because calendars don't play a role in my life, not physical ones. I have to, like, think about them. I've never felt the need to really pay money to have, like... This, what's essentially the same thing every year. Obviously, it has to change to match that year's thing, which is like hell of a market they've got there. They've got a product that becomes outdated every year, and you have to change it out for a new one. Otherwise, the days will all be wrong. But I've just never felt the need to like buy one. Maybe if I had something where I really need to mark stuff down on it all the time. But I guess I kind of do have that right now. That's every day of me managing my schedule. But I just use digital ones, I suppose, and physical notes that I make myself. There she goes. Wait, do you think... Did she follow them out? Oh, well... Here's the last extended monitoring tape from the dock when they left. Did we just gain another follower? It's what we do. What? See, told you he was one of those distillery guys. I guess you were right. Those other guys came to pick him up for work, maybe? I don't like how they all hang out together. It's creepy. We hang out together. We work together. Yeah, but it's not... They're like more than coworkers. I don't know. I just get this awful feeling whenever I see them. Like... I knew them once, but not anymore. Like when they made up a dead person to look like that old photograph of themselves. Sort of familiar, sort of strange. Yeah, exactly. There ought to be a word for that. Whoa. Oh, we're 14 minutes in. Okay, so I skipped forward. I was like, how the fuck did they vanish? But the clock resets every scene. So if it says 14 now, that means that we skipped ahead. Bye, kitty. They look like nice enough people. I'm sure she's very happy with them. Yeah. So... This has been a bit of a memory trip for you, huh? I mean, I bet you didn't expect these old tapes to stir up so much. How does it feel for those people to come again? To come up again? Weaver, Marquez, Wise Will, I mean... And... What was your boyfriend's name? The one who died in college? Charlie. Yeah, it's kind of a bittersweet experience, actually. Like looking at photographs of people who've died or moved away. People that are gone. Gone, but not forgotten. No, not forgotten. You're right. Down the road we go. So we're just right back to going in circles again, aren't we? Look at those easels and tables on the beach over there. They call it an open-air gallery. Probably something more upscale like art fresco gallery. They say it's a popular design in foreign cities like Paris and New York. That may be true. The appeal is clear enough, I guess. Anyone can wander in and out. There aren't any walls or doors. There's no roof either, just kind of a thin cloth membrane. Not quite a sheet or a tarp, but more like a drape of rolled out spiderweb. Looking like it might bunch up and dissolve if it ever got rained on. No concern down here for rain. Everyone thinks they're inside, just because they can't see the sky. But it's a microclimate down here, and it surely does rain. Right now they're exhibiting some intimate photographs of small town life. I mean, even without a microclimate, there'd still be dripping all the time. Caves tend to be wet, because water tends to be what created the cave in the first place. Like, caves don't just, like, happen for no reason. They tend to be erosion based in like the limestone and whatnot. The highlight of the show is a large print of an old man's face. The photo is titled Walker. His eyes are kind of closing, or maybe opening, probably closing. Because of the scale of the thing, you can see all the crumbs in his beard. No, not food crumbs, crumbs of sleeping outside. Reviews have been good. It's a popular show. Probably because of its relevance. The town depicted in these photos was recently flattened to make way for a big museum project. Museum project, like the one full of housing exhibits? Ezra helped Kate forage for mushrooms. We've been foreshadowing this thing for a while. He sleeps in a grove. Amberian Dawn Song. Gothic metal. So the opera singer is the lead singer. It looks like the trees look like they're from underwater. Well, I'm picking a choice. This one's like the past. This one says, Kate gently rolls a fallen branch and plucks something white from the underside. She holds it up for Ezra to examine. But here it says, she lit a second cigarette with the embers from the first one. She trembled, sweating a little under a heavy coat. It was warmer near the doors, but she was following directions. No smoking within 25 feet of the hospital entrance. She stood by a hot dog cart, parked at the edge of the sidewalk. Plurosibella porrigens. The common name is angel wings. Isn't that pleasant? They have a delicate, springy texture and they're tasty like sweet moss. Would you like a bite? Okay. Ezra takes a small bite and ruminates. What do you think? Is it supposed to be spicy? No, go ahead and spit that out, it's okay. My mushroom hunter mentor told me it's useless to pretend to know mushrooms. They escape your erudition. The more you know of them, the less sure you feel about identifying them. She taps the cover of the small red book she's carrying. That's why I'm always bringing my favorite guidebook. Kate points to a small mushroom growing in the dirt. Oh, here's an important one to recognize, though. Look, see that sort of greenish pallor on the cap? Amanita paloidis. That's Greek. Amanita means mushroom, and paloidis means, never mind. It smells like honey. Yeah, sort of nauseating though, right? Sickly sweet. Death cap. That's the common name. It's killed a lot of people, this little mushroom, including a few Roman emperors. It's a revolutionary. Even the Buddha died from eating a mushroom when he was very old. That's just what they do. Clear away old things, make room for new things. Pretty important, right? I've always thought they deserved a little more respect. Would you like to help me look for a few more? I have a sort of shopping list. Great, look for... Actually, just grab any mushrooms that catch your eye and throw them in this bag. Let me know when you're done, and we'll see what you got. Have fun. That's the second rule of mushroom hunting. The first rule is ask Kate before eating anything, okay? She seems to have a split attention. Like she's dwelling on the past at the same time as the present. It's a really strange thing seeing the two parallel interface like this. Kate digs in a bare patch of dirt. It's a bit muddy from flooding or the general dampness of the caves. She finds two promising specimens, a spotted brown cap and a dense bundle of dark ridges. The hot dog vendor tried to strike up a conversation with some immediately too personal questions. She decided to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he thought it was part of the job, she thought, to offer his customers some kind of counsel. Maybe it was to salve his guilty conscience for selling junk food outside of a hospital. Ezra checks out a plastic bag washed up on the island. The bag is ragged and waterlogged. He nudges it with a stick, coiling up a plastic thread and spreading it out on the beach. He didn't like to play in the house. It was always too cold. It seemed to store up the cold at night, then slowly discharge it into his bones during the day, while the sun bounces feebly from the windows. But he liked to play in the woods because behind the house. He'd taken a knife from the kitchen, selected it for its long, serrated edge, meant for slicing bread. Its teeth had reminded him of a saw blade. He was determined to collect some firewood to heat the house. There are new mushrooms in the bag. Kate inspects the dense bundle of dark ridges. Dark brown ridges and folds cover the surface of the mushroom. It has a pleasant, almost fruity smell. Kate plucks the mushroom from the dirt and puts it in her bag. Kate examines the tree roots. She spots a couple of intriguing growths along the roots of the tree, a speckled white ball and a cluster of softly glowing amber caps. Had she ever tried any alternative medicines? Acupuncture? Homeopathy? Ayurveda? Magical thinking? She said she'd never heard of any of those things. He fished a stray hot dog out of the pickle jar. Ezra investigates the rotting stump. The stump is ringed with overlapping shelves of mushrooms. Striped brown, blue, gray, white. A caterpillar crawls along one of them. He didn't have any friends nearby. None of their new neighbors seemed to have children his age, so he played alone in the woods. Alone except for the deer. Ezra inspects the caterpillar. The caterpillar shuffles listlessly across the mushroom. It seems to be dragging several of its legs. An odd brown-black thread protrudes from about 2 inches out of its head. He saw strange lights in the trees, flickering purple. He kept going. Ezra carefully picks up the caterpillar and puts it in his bag. Ezra closes his eyes and listens to the water and the distant clicking of bats. Kate examines the speckled white ball. About the size of an egg, the mushroom has no visible stem. It seems to be attached to the tree by a sticky black substance leaking from a ring of tiny pores. Kate gently pries the mushroom off the tree root and puts it in her bag. Kate tries to wipe the mud off her boot. Oh, you got one? Let's see it. This part scrolled too far, so I can't read it. Oops. He tripped on a protruding root and lay for a while in the mud, examining the pail under the branches of a sycamore tree. The pale upper branches of a sycamore tree, listening to the soft rumble of a faraway thunderstorm, then louder, closer, and his hair stood on end. And there was the bird. Oh, his brother. Ezra hands Kate the caterpillar he found on the tree stump. Is this a caterpillar? Oh, I see. Did you get a look at this black thread coming out of his head? It grows in the caterpillar, eats it from the inside out, but changes its behavior a bit. Oh shit, it's cordyceps. They killed for these in Tibet. I don't have much use for them in my line of work though. It's probably the cordyceps fungus, the one that The Last of Us is based on. Here's my haul. Kate takes the dense bundle of dark ridges out of her bag. This one I can't really use, but I picked it just to show it to you. Looks like a very popular eating mushroom around these parts, called a morel, but it's not a morel. Kate slices the mushroom in half, lengthwise. It's full of white fiber, the consistency of cotton. This is the easiest way to tell them apart. The real morel is empty. This one, the false morel, is actually kind of poisonous. I forgot what its effects are. Here, let's check the Vermeulen book. Kate flips through the pages of her guidebook. Okay, here it is. Symptoms include wanting to fight, demanding answers. Of course. What? Dryness of eyes, nose and lips, restless sleep. Dreams of flood, of rolling stones, accidents, people transforming into owls, vampires, rockets, and traveling to stars. Huh. That doesn't sound so bad, actually. Kate puts the mushroom back into her bag. That sounds fun. Hey, you want to have weird dreams? Let's go for it. Kate takes the speckled white ball out of her bag. These are called bat eggs. See this gooey black stuff leaking out the side here? I guess somebody once thought this stuff looked like egg yolk, and it's black like a bat. I mean, I'm kind of speculating. I don't really know why they're called bat eggs. They're not good for anything, really. They'll just give you bad stomachache if you try to eat one. I just wanted to show it to you. Kate tosses the bat egg into the water.